Hey, welcome to this video where I will be retouching this Absolut Vodka bottle that I recently shot. And I'll just jump right into it. First thing is focus stacking. I shot all these different exposures for different parts of the image, and then I did a focus stack of like what's going to be my main image. So let's start with that. I'll grab these files and we'll pull them into Serene Stacker. There we go, and I'll just let this software work its magic. So what the software does, it analyzes the sharpness of each image and masks them together and outputs a flat image that is sharp. And there we go. We can have a look and see that the image is sharp from this stone through the bottle, through the back stone and the twig. Okay, so I can just save this file and get to work. Okay, so we have our stacked file and we have all these different exposures that are gonna be used. What we can do is that we can load these in as layers, load files into Photoshop layers. And the nice thing about doing that is that the layers get the name, so I know what everything is. So let's put this base layer in the bottom, and I think the first thing I'm gonna do is add the text and the white label, and I'll put it on the sticker. Background for later, twig for later. That reflection needs to go on the bottle. I can probably do that first. Yeah, so I'll start here, and let's just make a copy of this and call that retouch. Could actually make this our background. Always nice to have the background layer in the bottom, so you can always go back and see, and if you need to go back and fix anything. Okay, let's get retouching. Okay, and the first thing I want to fix is a very common thing that happens when focus stacking is that when there are really fine gradients, the focus stacking software has, it always, well, not always, but it often messes up the gradients. So what we can do here is go back to Bridge, find our from these focus stacking files, get the one where the bottle is sharp, and we can just use that to fix that part. So I'll pull this one in as well, and I'll show you so here is the focus stacked where the gradients here are kind of messed up, and here's the original shot. So I want to put this back. So we'll get rid of pixels that I don't need, and let's align this layer. And to align layers, I usually either set the opacity to like 50% so I can see both layers, or I'll put it in the blend mode difference. which in this case is probably the best, and I can just nudge this around till it aligns where I want it to, which is here. I think that'll do. It's in the right place, and I'll just mask this in. Okay. Okay, that fixes the bottle. Then I could just merge this down. So, much better. And, okay, first things first, reflection, which is getting rid of these reflections, which come from over here. So I'll just do this. Oops. And then put this in difference, line it, add a layer mask, and you can just paint this right over here, and we are rid of those. Merge that. And now for the text. So let's cut out just the text. We'll put this in difference as well. See if we can align these letters. Sometimes you have to stretch and do some stuff to it to make it align. I think we are pretty good here. What we can see here in the glass is that there's stuff going on here, and most of this is a print on the backside of the bottle that is showing through and creating these lines, which make it look a little dirty. So I really want to clean that, and cleaning that with these letters in the way is not gonna be easy. So my plan here is to cut out the letters, the blue and these black ones, and have them as separate layers. That way I can retouch all of this out and create a clean, nice bottle, and then have the text be on top of that. So the first thing is gonna be to create a mask for this text, and I will try the magic wand tool, which should be able to do a pretty good job of this. Here we have it, and I will just expand this selection by 1 pixel, which will give us this mask. And a little bit feathering on that. I'll put this layer in a group. Let's call that Absolut Vodka, and put a layer mask on that. So what we have is a layer that contains just the text. Nice. And we also need to get this black text in a separate layer, same way. There we go. expand our selection, little bit of feathering, add the mask to this group, and now we have that text in a separate layer as well. So we got both our texts, turn those off, and what I want to do now is get rid of all of this and clean up the bottle so we get a nice and clean bottle. And after we have that, we can turn our texts back on and we'll have a nice and clean shot. I'm gonna clean up as much as I can. And of course there are no right or wrong ways to clean this. You can do stamp tool, you can do the new magic eraser, patch tool, whatever gets the job done. Alright, and now I am going to see what the AI tool here will give us if we try that. So generative fill, and let's go. Not too bad. Let's see what else. I think the first one was, let's have a look. If we turn the text back on, it'll look nice and clean. That's a good start. So let's go with this one. I'll flatten that down and keep cleaning these parts up. So pretty clean bottle going here. And now if we turn our text back on, nice. Here's the before and after. That's our text. Okay, and next thing is this white label. And I'm gonna do basically the same thing I did with the text. I'll put the new label on top. And now we have our white label. And as you can see, the one underneath shows a little bit. So I will just clone a little bit here to get rid of that. Go work my way around. Okay, new label. This is what we've done so far. And let's move on to the sticker that is looking way too black. So we're gonna put this sticker in, and we're also gonna move it. See, this, place this a little off center. So we're gonna try to nudge it a little bit. So let's get this. So here is our new sticker. And same thing here, we need to get rid of the sticker underneath. I'll turn that off. Well, here. That looks pretty good. Let's have a look again. This is where we started, and this is where we're at. Okay, so let's have a look on the layers we have left. We got our cap, we got our twig, and the background. So let's do the cap. And that is, I added this whiteboard to create a little light play happening in this dark area of the cap. Nice. And this is such a small thing that I'm actually gonna just merge this thing right into our main retouch layer. So I don't think I will do anything more to that. Okay, so next up is our twig, which has, if you compare it to this original shot, it's quite dark. There's some light going on there. So I got this shot where more light hits the twig, making it more interesting. Nice and cool looking twig. My original idea was to just crop the image down here to get rid of this, but I figured we might as well give the generative fill a chance and see what it can do with this reflection on this stone material. So let's see what we get. Just select this generative fill and just go. Not too bad. See our options. Zoom out a little bit. That's too bright. It's kind of weird. I think the first one. Let's just, we'll keep that. I'll merge that down. I can always crop if I want to, but that looks pretty good. Okay, so the last thing here is to get the new background in, and to get that, I want to put all of this into one group. Let's call that object. And so what we need to do is create a mask that follows this line around all of this, around the twig and the table. So we have all that cut out, and then we'll light up this background layer, which we will place underneath the object. But I think we need to merge a layer on top for the magic wand to work. So I'll just, what I do is I merge the whole image to a solid layer on top. I'll get rid of this after. Just the magic wand tool needs these pixels to be able to work. Okay, there we go. Finally, so our mask looks like this. Here's our object, no background, and then we turn on the background. That actually looks like this. So, now we have full control of if we want to change anything to the background. We might want to, I don't know, make it bigger, make it smaller, change the colors, whatever. Gives us control. And same with the object, like if I want to do adjustments that does not affect the background, I can put them inside the object. So let's make a group for the background as well, so it's nice and tidy here in our layer structure. Okay, and this is where we started. This is where we are now. Pretty good. Now we can get into like going over our object, do some spot cleaning. Okay, I think everything looks good. I think I might give the twig a little more saturation. Yeah. Gonna go overboard, but I kind of like that reddish, yellowish tone to pop a little more to give a nice balance to this blue. So there's some warmth and some cold there. I think the last thing left is to try to give this a bit of a color grade and like a nice little finish. So let's create another group. We'll call that one grade, and let's try. I always like curves, just, you know, pulling, see what happens, see if you find anything you like, jump through these color curves, find your style, what you think goes. And I like this. I want to give it more of like a cooler look, but also maybe give the highlights a little bit of warmth. Something like this. Yeah, I like that. Let's take out a little bit of red. Don't want to go too far. Yes, nice. Okay, I think I'm pretty happy here. Maybe we should just add a bit of noise, bit of grain. Let's just do a simple grain. I'll create a new layer, fill it with gray, put it in soft light, and just add a bit of noise to this. Usually somewhere around between 4 and 10, where 4 gives you this, just a little bit of grain, and if we would go to 10, it will be too much. Maybe a 5. Yes, and just do a little bit of Gaussian blur to that, so it's not too sharp. Just helps hold the whole image together. It'll also help with these gradients when we wanna save this for web or whatever. Yeah, so our grade is just basically gonna be this color curve, which gives this nice tone. and a little bit of grain. So let's have a look at over before and after. You could, of course, keep going, keep looking over everything and making everything even more perfect, whatever, but I will stop here. I'm happy with how this looks, and I hope you do too. And if you found this helpful and enjoyed watching this, please drop us a follow, and I will see you next time.